I am Neil Larthos. I am the next Abdullah. You are the next Neville Goddard. Your SP gets wet every single time they think of you. And your bank account makes Jeff Bezos look homeless. So today I'm going to share with you a technique that you can use whenever you have been affirming, visualizing, doing sats, anything, and you are noticing, oh fuck, this shit's not working, and you are on the verge of fucking giving up, right? This is a technique that I don't think is for everyone, okay? And I will even go as far as to say that when done wrong, it can actually be dangerous. And know that you're not gonna die or anything, but this can manifest things against your favor if you don't understand the technique. But don't be concerned. That's what Neil Larthos is here for, okay? I'm gonna explain to you exactly what it is, okay? So I call it worst case scenario, okay? Because I suck at making names, right? You see, that's an assumption that I gotta work on, right? But basically, in any situation, okay, especially in environments where you don't feel exactly comfortable, or maybe it's the environment that your SP is, because a lot of you guys are trying to manifest someone at work, or maybe you're trying to manifest your ex back. And one of the most popular environments that people experience this is on social media, where they're like, oh shit, should I click on their story? Or maybe you are constantly watching their stories of your ex, and it's like, oh shit, what am I gonna see next? Is she gonna already be engaged to the guy, right? All these different things, right? If you are someone who is overthinking about the manifestation process, right, and you cannot stop being concerned if you're gonna get your SP or not, this I think is especially best for you. Okay, if you guys are completely honed in on your manifestation, and no matter what the 3D is showing you, you could give two shits, you have it, then this technique is not for you. But for you guys who are trying to manifest and you are on the verge of giving up, this technique works. Okay, so look, we're going to use the example of worst case scenario when you are on social media, since that's a very popular one, right? So you constantly have this fear, like, what are you going to see next? Are you going to see that your ex has a new boyfriend, a new girlfriend? Or maybe they already have the 3P, and you're hoping to see that they break up. But every single time you open the story, things are only getting better. It's like, oh wow, she has an engagement ring. Now my life is ruined, right? Holy shit. Well, I want you to imagine the worst case scenario, okay? Especially if your SP has a third person, right? Imagine what it would be like, or just simply ask yourself, what would it be like if the worst happened and they got married to that person, right? Now, I know you guys are saying, oh, how dare you? Wait, what if I imagine that it will actually happen? Well, yes, but no, okay? Because we've already established that fleeting thoughts, okay, are not necessarily going to manifest. Is what you identify with. When you are intentionally, when you are consciously doing something, when you are aware of why you're doing it, and you have a certain implication, the implication is going to be what manifests, not the actual imagination, right? I mean, you can imagine a fucking pink elephant, right? But what could end up manifesting is that you fucking find a pink eraser in your cupboard at your house, right? All because you were thinking pink, 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 even though you thought it was going to be a pink elephant. But you fuckers are trying to manifest unicorns and Hogwarts, when in reality, that's not the way it works, right? So when you imagine the worst case scenario, this is what happens, right? A lot of times when I've tried this, I would try it because I had a lot of anxiety. Like I said, this works for people who overthink. You really got to pay attention to this one, because I'm gonna have to go all over the place. I might have to make another video about this, but a lot of us people who are anxious, a lot of us who overthink, especially in situations like manifesting an SP, we are afraid to see the worst case scenario happen. And we think that we're going to die, right? But what have we said throughout this channel and every single video? That whatever you put in your consciousness, you already experienced that in your 4D. A lot of you guys, when you're trying to manifest an SP, I tell you, if you want to kiss her, even though she's all the way over there in Alaska, who the hell wants to live there either ways? Just kiss her right up here, and boom. If you made out with her all sloppy Joe, congratulations, it already fucking happened, even though she has you blocked on all platforms, right? Well, the same thing here. When you imagine the worst case scenario and you're on social media and you say, what would it be like if I saw that not only does she have the third person, but they are married and they lived happily ever after? I want you to really ask yourself, am I going to be okay? And here's the trick. If when you ask yourself, are you going to be okay? And there's a huge fucking hell no of an answer. If you tell yourself there's no way I'm going to be able to handle that, I would die, then guess what? You have a bigger issue than that you are not manifesting your SP. Because I'm going to let you in a little secret, guys. The reason why this technique is so powerful in manifesting your SP is because it's not meant just for you to handle the 3D circumstances, but it's also meant to expose how you handle life in general. The people who manifest their SPs, like if they are just number 2 pencils, like if they are fucking water bottles, right? It's easy for them. Guess who those people are? They are the ones where they are okay whether they get their SP or not. How many times have we gone on Reddit and we heard the guy say, you know what, I was trying to manifest my SP, 2 months go by and I'm just living life and I get to a point where I don't even care. And who do I hear knocking on my front door? Hello, we got a delivery for SP. It's your fucking SP. Do you think that we even hear this from dating coaches say that their clients were able to get their ex back the moment they stopped giving a fuck? Well, when you can go in your imagination and just imagine, I'm not telling you to do this all the fucking time. I think out of all the imaginal acts that I promote, I only tell you to do this once. Only once. Because if you keep doing it, yeah, you do possibly risk impressing your subconscious, and it actually says, okay, well, we have no other choice. We have to get their SP to marry this guy. I mean, shit, he's ugly as fuck, but it's your fucking fault, right? Again, this is not to fucking manifest your SP. Fuck, I fucking turn off the lights here. This is not to manifest your SP with somebody else. It is to show you that you will be okay either way, right? So again, if you ask yourself, I know this video is long, but fucking be patient, you bastards. If you ask yourself, will I be able to handle it if the worst case scenario happens, if my SP falls in love with somebody else? I believe that if you have been working on your self-concept, you should be able to get to the point where when you go to the worst case scenario, there is room for you to say, I think there's still a silver lining, right? And if you can just see a reality where even though it might suck that you didn't get your SP, but yet you still know that you can find somebody better, or that you still know that things are going to be okay and you still will be happy either way, that you could still have a fulfilling career and still be doing things that you love, and you can still have a smile on your face. If you can just imagine for a brief moment that reality could exist, right? What happens when you get out of that imaginary scenario is that you start walking with a different confidence, okay? You start going on social media, and even though there still might be that initial fear, there is an amount of it that has just gotten deflated like a fucking balloon, because you already visited the reality where your SP is with that third person, married with kids. They're being interviewed by People magazine, and everybody's talking about how amazing their relationship is, right? And even some people are saying, wow, isn't that the person you were trying to manifest? What the fuck happened, bro? But if you were still able to go to that reality and realize that you were okay, it is like the person who went through the worst fucking trauma. It is like the person who went through the most traumatic experiences in war, or maybe they got kidnapped by a fucking serial killer, and then they were able to survive all that, and then they find themselves in the future one day getting into an argument with somebody at the fucking grocery store who's saying, I'm gonna beat your ass, bro. Why the hell did you shoulder check me? And then instead of being the guy who's like, oh fuck, I can't believe that guy, he was being such a dick, you tell yourself, well, if I can survive what I fucking survived when I got kidnapped by a serial killer, when they're about to fucking chop all my limbs off, but then the FBI was able, FBI open up, and then boom, they saved me. If I was able to survive that, right? Who else can go against me? Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, right? So again, I don't encourage everybody to do this, because again, a lot of you guys will probably keep playing with it just like we were kids and we were playing with, you know, fire and you know, fucking batteries, and then we end up swallowing one and, you know, we have to be resurrected. Don't be a fucking idiot with this, okay? Don't do this all the time. But if you know that you are going to go on social media and there's a risk that you could see something that could fuck with you, first of all, get the fuck off of social media, right? But if you can't help it, right, then really ask yourself, what would the worst case scenario be? What would it feel like? And would I be able to handle it? And if you know deep down in your soul that you can imagine a scenario where you could handle it, where you could find somebody better, then simply experience that for a brief second. And then from now on, whenever you go to that environment, or maybe it's the hot girl at the gym and you've been trying to affirm for her, but she's not looking at you, right? Ask yourself, would I be able to fucking handle going to this gym knowing that she rejected me, knowing that she is not interested in me, and that she says that I'm not her type, right? Would I be able to handle that? Because, you know, realize what I did there, right? I could have just said that she told you that she had a boyfriend, right? But the worst case scenario would be, not only did she reject you, but she tells you that you're not her type, right? And to many of the people, that's like the end of the world, right? Well, I'm gonna tell you a little secret, by the way. Even that is something that you can get out of. I've had so many girls tell me that I'm not their type, that I'm too short, and guess what? We're over there banging each other's brains out 2 weeks later, right? So even that is something that you can get out of. But what I'm trying to say is, if you can still imagine yourself going to the gym knowing that that girl rejected you, and yet you can still see yourself as a guy who can attract love, then A, that means that you've been really working on your self-concept. Good fucking job. And then 2, I guarantee you that when you get out of that imaginary scenario, you will be able to handle the 3D circumstances better. That when you are still constantly affirming for her, you're telling yourself, look, you are affirming with this attitude of, I don't give a fuck, because I already went to the reality where all hope was lost and I didn't get my SP, but I still was able to survive, right? So when you see that you survived in that reality, you already know that either way I'm good. And just that vibe, just that energy of either way I'm good, that is fucking magnetic, okay? That is one of the most magnetic fucking states that you can ever have. It is one of the most, like, whenever I do this, I do this a lot at work, because I have some I'm just gonna be honest with you, some bosses that I work for that are just a fucking, I mean, they'd be better off dead, if I'm being real with you, okay? Neil Lartos is the most transparent and the best manifestation coach out there, right? I'm not gonna fucking josh you. I'm not gonna fucking lie to you. Some people, I just fuck them, right? And a lot of times when I'm like, fuck, dude, I have to work with this person, I will literally use this, right? And I will see the worst case scenario of that boss just fucking crashing out on me and embarrassing me in front of everybody. And I see myself surviving that. Maybe I might even create a scenario where they're crashing out on me and I stick up for myself, right? And I know that whether I go to work and everything's great and they actually don't get after me, or I go to work and they start crashing out on me and embarrassing me in front of everybody, I know that the reality exists where I can still handle that, right? Yeah, I imagine the scenario where I can still handle that. And just by being able to go from the Neo who just a couple of years ago would be so nervous to be around people, even to the point where they would say, why is your face all red? Are you okay? And little did they know I was having a fucking panic attack because I could not fucking work with this individual. Now they see me that he's no longer like that, right? And just the fucking energy of, oh my gosh, he's no longer like that. There's something different about him, which is me coming from the fact that I already know I can survive it because I have this confidence where I can go to that parallel reality and see myself as the guy who is unfazed regardless of even the worst case scenario happens where my own boss embarrasses me in front of all my employees, right? Even when I see that I can survive that is enough to give me this magnetic energy if I don't give a fuck. And a lot of times, because I walk with that magnetic energy, no one fucks with me because they're too busy fucking seeing the radiance of that magnetic energy, right? So that's basically it, guys. Okay, use this for manifesting SP, or use it for manifesting your boss to shut the fuck up, whatever. Okay, but this is a trick to give you that magnetic energy of not giving a fuck. When you are able to go to the worst case scenario and see yourself getting kidnapped by that serial killer and even still seeing yourself survive, boom, you become fucking bulletproof. Okay, let me know if I explained this okay, because I feel like this could be one of those videos that I might have to go more in depth. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if I should fucking change the name of this fucking technique. Either ways, I am Neil Lartos. This is all that the I'm Awareness had to say, and I know you're gonna be okay.